Welcome back, gamers. I know it has been a little while since our last upload, but we're back at it once again and have the rest of the week's videos already scheduled. But today, you're here for the most anticipated games of 2021, so let's get on into it. At number 10, we have Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2 is set 15 years from the first and immensely popular game. Your mission is simple. You need to retrieve an object that could change the future of humankind, but no pressure though. It's a lot darker than the first. The future doesn't appear to be any kinder than the past Dying Light. It's primal, ruthless, and is a constant struggle for survival. You play as Aiden Caldwell, an infected survivor with unrivaled abilities that make the city's human factions coming to you for help or offering death if you refuse. Choices in the game have permanent effects and consequences. The map is 4 times bigger than the first game, so we'll get more than 100 hours of content to immerse ourselves in. Like the original game, there's a daunting day and night cycle, and the zombies are fanatically ravenous and exceptionally stronger during the night. Dying Light 2 will be available in 4-player co-op, and you can join your friends' worlds. Although the release date is vague, sometime in 2021, it's been revealed that the game will work on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Number 9, Elden Ring. Elden Ring is an action role-playing game by From Software, and it will be their biggest project yet. You see, this is what George R.R. Martin has been working on instead of finishing the Winds of Winter novel from the Game of Thrones series. A forgivable offense if the game turns out to be as awesome as expected. The game director is Hidetaka Miyazaki, the man who created the Souls series. Going by that alone, we know Elden Ring is going to be beyond epic. Set to release in spring 2021, Elden Ring will be available for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. It's set in the Norse and will divide into fascinating Norse mythology and all the dark legends mentioned. The eerie trailer revealed little about, for example, who the protagonist is and what will be his purpose. What we do know is that Elden Ring will be heavily focused on RPG elements and will feature magic, numerous cool weapons, and what Miyazaki is most excited for, epic boss fights. Number 8, Lord of the Rings Gollum. In the upcoming Lord of the Rings Gollum, Lord of the Rings' most tragic character's origins are revealed. The game portrays the events that happened to him before he appears in the books and takes place in the years after Gollum takes possession of the cursed ring. As the creators said, Gollum was somewhat of a human someday before the ring twisted him and corrupted his body and mind. The gameplay will focus on narrative choices and the inner battle between Gollum and his alter ego Smeagol. As you make choices and take actions, you yourself get stuck in moral dilemmas, and it's never as easy as Smeagol. Good and Gollum, evil. It's very exciting to explore that. You'll need to use both personalities to navigate the game. We'll be seeing a lot of friendly and unfriendly faces like Thranduil, Legolas' father, and the Nazguls. Set to be released sometime in 2021 and on relevant consoles and PC. The game will kick off with Gollum held against his will in Mordor Fortress. Number 7, Far Cry 6. The Far Cry series has taken us across the world from Africa, the Himalayas, tropical islands, and on some occasions has allowed us to battle aliens, cyborgs, and yetis. The latest Far Cry by Ubisoft is set to be released on February 18th, 2021 and will be available for all platforms. The studio teases us with footage of the main antagonist, Anton Castillo, portrayed by Breaking Bad's legendary Giancarlo Esposito, with his son Diego, whose actor, Anthony Gonzalez, played more wholesome roles such as in the movie Coco. Nevertheless, we can expect a chilling performance from both. The story takes place on the largest Far Cry playground to date, the tropical paradise that is the fictional Caribbean island Yara. The player controls Danny Rojas, a local Yaran guerrilla fighter, male or female, your choice. As Rojas, you get swept into the Libertad movement and will find yourself a part of the revolution trying to bring down Castillo's dictatorship. The Thanks for Hire system is back, which is a feature that allows you to hire anyone from an ex-KGB spy to the cutest wiener dog. Of course, it's a tropical open world with beaches, jungles, and the sprawling capital Esperanza. Number 6, Shadow Warrior 3. Shadow Warrior 3 is the latest installment in the action series Shadow Warrior. The protagonist, Lu Wang, is one of the most chaotic characters to date in the video game world. He revels in the mayhem he creates and constantly throws around witty one-liners. Everything about this first-person game is over the top. Winter is coming is only one of the numerous pop culture references Lo Wang makes. As violent and bloody most video games turn out to be, Shadow Warrior 3 certainly is one of the bloodiest. Lo Wang has gotten himself into a tricky situation. He'd accidentally unleashed an ancient and jump-started the apocalypse. In the massive and brightly colorful open world, Wang must trek through uncharted and dangerous parts in his search for the beast. As evident by the gameplay released, Wang is never still. As he battles demons and malicious gods, he's running up walls, swinging through ropes, and beheading demons. Number 5. Resident Evil Village. Next up, we have what's promised to be the longest Resident Evil engine game to date. It's Resident Evil 8, titled Resident Evil Village. The terrifying game is set years after its predecessor, Resident Evil 7. The protagonist, Ethan Winters, finally has a peaceful life with his wife, Mia. The sudden appearance of Chris Redfield, the iconic hero from previous games, sets off the events of the game and throws Ethan, and by extension us, into a living nightmare. The setting for the game is the Village, which is a monster character on its own and full of terrors. Human and horrifying non-human enemies will relentlessly hunt down Ethan. Resident Evil Village will up the ante on action and will focus more on the exploration of the creepy village. We'll likely see the return of puzzles. Also returning is Redfield, who appears to have a sinister air around him. Get ready for first person and terrifying encounters. The game will be available for Windows, PlayStation 5, and Xbox 4th generation. Number 4. Horizon Forbidden West. Guerrilla Games really know how to excite their fans. The trailer for Horizon Forbidden West is phenomenal and incredibly beautiful, but it reveals little of what the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn is actually about. Here's what we know. It's exclusive to PS5, and the game makers boast virtually no loading screens. Players control Aloy, a badass machine hunter on her determined quest to save the world. It's set in the 31st century across a post-apocalyptic open world known as the Forbidden West. It spans from Utah to the Pacific coast and has been shown to include the ruins of San Francisco and Yosemite Valley. The settings are breathtaking. Besides the cities, there are hopelessly dry deserts, frozen mountains, and more. The game will be bigger than Zero Dawn, and the gameplay will heavily feature underwater exploration, drowning in mysteries the player has to uncover. We can expect to battle monstrous machines such as mammoths, alligators, and all kinds of enemies. The game will also feature the return of Silence from the original game. Number 3. Hitman 3. Hitman 3 is a stealth game by IO Interactive and is the anticipated and dramatic conclusion to the World of Assassin trilogy, the 8th in the series. You'll be playing as Assassin Agent 47, joined by his long-lost friend Lucas Gray, and your mission is to wipe out the patterns of Providence. Hitman 3 is set to be released on the 20th of January in 2021 for Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Stadia. Players will have absolute freedom in the sandbox locations, and what magnificent locations they are. Dubai, Dartmoor, England, and 3 other locations that haven't been revealed but fans are dying to know. If you're a longtime fan of the Hitman series and have owned Hitman and Hitman 2, you'll be able to import your progress levels and maps into Hitman 3. Hitman 3 is only available in a third-person perspective with no multiplayer modes, and the Ghost mode was not added. Number 2. Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. Almost at the top, we have Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. It's an action role-playing game by Cyanide. It's part of the World of Darkness series and is based on the grim tabletop game Werewolf the Apocalypse. It's set to be released on February 4th, 2021 for Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. This action RPG of anger management features Cahal, an eco-terrorist shapeshifter. After being banished from his werewolf tribe, he's on a righteous crusade against a corrupt Pentax corporation who are destroying the environment with their pollution. As Cahal, you travel through the American Northwest and play through missions that will affect the game world. You can shift into one of Cahal's 3 forms: human, wolf, or werewolf. When Cahal is in human form, it's like he's undercover and no one knows his shapeshifter identity. You're free to explore, converse, and annihilate any combatants who get in your way. Number 1. Halo Infinite. Probably the most anticipated game for this year, and the next Halo is Halo 6, which has been titled Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite is meant to launch the next 10 years of Halo games. Created by Xbox Game Studios, we can expect to see Halo Infinite sometime in 2021. Until then, we can anxiously wait around and hope for an early release date or leaked details. The plot is set on a mysteriously damaged Halo ring. Players control the returning Master Chief on his greatest adventure yet to save humanity. The main antagonist is a merciless and extreme mercenary group, the Banished, headed by War Chief Escharum. Halo Infinite will give us the most freedom we've ever experienced in this open world. The ring is brought to life like never before with a day and night cycle and wildlife running around. The new game has upgraded features like the ability to perform a grapple shot to pull enemies toward you, climb, and to pull items to you. The Forge mode is back. However, there will be no Battle Royale mode, but there's a multiplayer option and the creator said players can probably make their own Battle Royales in Forge. Alrighty gamers, we hope you enjoyed the list because that's going to wrap it up for this one. If you did in fact watch the video all the way through, we appreciate you so much and hope you enjoyed it enough to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell because we are always releasing more content. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.